This video is sponsored by A&M ACT. Today we're going to break apart this one. It's from June 2023. It's number 54. One of the following equations is equation of the circle graphed in the standard coordinate plane, and then it's asking you which one it is. But before I begin, I want to kind of shift over, that's a pun intended, is to my graphing shift. So we're going to kind of look at what does it mean when we actually do shifts in graphs. And a lot of times students forget what it means when we shift in a graph. So let's take a look at what I mean. These are considered shifts in graphs. So if you think about the parent one, this is a parabola, and our parent one would be y equals x squared. So that would just be, basically, if I was to graph that really quickly, it would look like this. But a lot of times our graphs get shifted, they get moved, for the center is no longer 0, 0. And what we want to look at is how similar all of the shifting is. So when we look at something like this, so when it's with x or when it's with the variable, it's going to come out as an opposite sign. So my shifting for this one is actually going to be positive 4 in the positive direction of my xy. So we would go this direction. And this is going to go down 1, so my shift for the next one would be -1. So there's my new vertex. So this means that I'm going to shift over 4 and down 1. So I would have the same graph, but I'm going to shift over. And ACT has a lot of shifting questions, so we're going to go over them. Now, what about this one? This one's with the x, so would it be positive or negative? Well, hopefully you said negative, because remember I said when it's with the variable, it's going to be opposite. Okay, you'll notice that the y is on the opposite side of the equal sign with its up and down motion. So, and you think about it, it'd be y -3, then it would be up. But it's not. It's on the opposite side. It says y equals 3. So I want to make sure you realize that this would then be a positive 3. This is the absolute value function, okay? And that parent looks like this, and that is just y equals the absolute value of x. You will notice the similarities in my parabola when it's written in vertex form as when my actual absolute value is. You'll notice that when it's in there with x, it is an opposite sign. When I have a number without that variable, which is y, is on the opposite side, it's going to keep the same sign. So this one would be going in this direction too, and up 3. So again, it's going to be the same graph. I'm just going to move it to that point. Now, this is a circle. And it just basically is what we just are looking at. So I want to make sure we understand that. And when we have a -2, do we go positive or negative? Please tell me positive, right? All right. Now what about this one? It's with the y, so it's with the variable. What did I make that comment? These are not with the variable, so they're keeping the sign. If it's with the variable, it changes the sign. So this is going to give me -5. Now in a circle, the radius over here is squared, so my radius is going to be 4 in this case. So my center of my circle is now 2, -5. If I was to draw this, my normal circle would be in the center. Not a real great circle, but you'll kind of get the idea. Now I would move it to +2 and down 5. So my same exact circle would be right there. So let's go back and look at our other one over here. We're just going to slide our little screen over because I'm getting lazy. All right, so this is one of the following equations. In this equation, basically is giving us our equations, is for this graph, okay? So we now have to decide, is it going up or down or right or left? Well, let's take a look. So we can see our radius is 1. So we look at this, there's our radius of 1, and that looks like it's pretty even, doesn't it? And it is. It looks like it's pretty much a 1. So it's not going up or down. And the reason that's important is because I notice that I have this 2y and this +2y and this -2y. So we don't want y, we want an x value. So when we do this, we want it to be x. So we want to look at, and we know it's not the circle, the center, right? Because that's literally what we were talking about right here. And that sure as heck's not the center of my circle, is it? So now that leaves me with G and J. So is it -2 or +2? Think about what I said about my shifting and the way the signs change. So yes, hopefully you got that it's going to go in the negative direction, so my answer is going to be J, so it would be positive. So remember, that's how that works, okay? Hopefully that helped. This is our original, parabola that we had, and when we deal with sine and cosine, and the other side says cosine, it's hard to see a right and a left shift, because honestly, this could easily be a shift to this direction for my sine wave just as much as it could be cosine. So when we deal with that, we want to realize that it's the same kind of thing. So if I have sine, and then it's x minus some number, we'll just put a, and then I have a plus b, this is going to be the key right there, okay? You can see in these that they're not moving up or down, okay? You can see that this amplitude is moving up, okay? And that means that if that was the case, I'd have some number right here, maybe like 2 or 4, and that would be making it go bigger. But I want to point out what it would look like if it was a shift of vertical, okay? The vertical shift is going to shift it like this. So we saw our standards, but if it goes up, it would be up here, and if it goes down, it's going to be down here. So when we're looking for clues, when ACT gives us work like this, we really want to kind of focus on what we do know. Is there an A that's giving it? Like, is there a 2 in front of my sign that's making it get bigger? Like the first one, like this one down here that I showed. And I'll just go ahead and show it to you again, this one. Or do I have something that's like x minus a, and then I have a plus b, and I have some shift that's going up and down, okay? Or maybe I don't have a shift at all, and that's just 0. So we want to pay attention to that shift, that up and down shift, and that amplitude. Those are going to be our key points to finding our answer, because the right and left shift is very, very difficult to see in a sine wave unless we know what the parent is. Okay, so let's take a look at a question, and I'm going to slide us back over to this side of the slide set, because this question is right here. This is a typical shift question for ACT, and it's giving you the sine function. It tells you what the parent one is. Isn't that nice of it? And then it says y equals sine x plus a plus, and then plus b. Okay, and I want to make sure you realize I'm going to go ahead and write up here what the x minus h squared plus k is, so you can kind of get, this is my a and this is my b. And I want to look at this down here, and it says here the functions have the same maximum value. One of the following statements about the values of a and b is true. Which one is it? And we're going to look at our wonderful values, and I want to see if you can figure out which value makes sense for this particular graph. Pause the video and see if you can figure it out. The key is the up and down motion, okay, is the K. Remember, there is no amplitude, so these aren't going up or down, and there's no point of that. So think about that. Maybe that'll give you a little bit of a hint. What up and down motion is this particular graph having? Is it going up or down? It's doing neither, isn't it? So it wouldn't be greater or less. It's going to be equaling 0 because there is no shift up and down. So A is the only possible answer. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure you remember that shift thing. Make sure you subscribe so you get all my videos, and give me a thumbs up if this is the type of video that you really enjoy. You have a great day and hope to see you next time. At A&M ACT Prep, we offer small classes. Visit our website, amactprep.wordpress.com, for more information and to register for our upcoming classes.